congrats on Snack Shack. It's such a fun movie. And Mika, you share so many great scenes with Conor Sherry in this film, and some are funny, some are sweet. What really stood out about him as a scene partner for you to, show off so many different, show off your range with him throughout these scenes?
Connor's just so funny and he's so he's really great with physical comedy. And I think the first scene I ever shot with him was the scene where Brooke and AJ meet, and he's like sneezing and whatever, and Connor's like actually allergic to everything, and he was shoving a blade of grass up his nose before every take to make himself sneeze, and he like looked like none of that's makeup, like he just looked like a wreck because he was like exploding from all the pollen. So that just like he just he is AJ and he was AJ while we were shooting. So he made it I feel like Brooke's laughing at him half the time, and he made it really easy to do that.
That's an incredible story. And Nick, your character's so fun. You're the older character. All the kids are looking up to you. What did you like most about that dynamic and really ushering in these two little mischievous kids as they're coming of age?
Yeah, it was fun to be the older brother, to be the one that they could look up to or talk to if they couldn't talk to their parents about something, or just being that mentor figure is a fun part. And also Shane's based on a real character, so it felt kind of like big shoes to fill. It was this real person that had made a huge impact on Adam, our director, and a lot of people in the town. I ended up meeting his family and folks that knew him, and he was just this larger than life character. So you just try and do him justice as much as you can.
That's wonderful. And Mika, I was curious what you kind of found most relatable about Brooke because there's so many interesting dynamics, especially with her, constantly moving around.
Um yeah, I mean I grew up in the industry, and I frequently missed out on things because I had to go to work or I was traveling, and I am pretty used to like being so immersed or like enmeshed with a group of people for, a couple weeks or a couple months, and then kind of splitting ways and not really knowing if you're ever going to see those people again. So I think that, and it also kind of forced me to grow up a lot faster than I would have had to otherwise. And so I think that all kind of ties into Brooks, being an army brat and moving around and being a lot older than she really is.
And Adam, sorry, Nick, you mentioned meeting Adam's parents, and this is such a personal story for him. How was it filming in Nebraska City? Because that had to make it all the more personal and really got you to feel kind of the vibe of the story.
Yeah, I thought it was a really smart choice. It felt like you were entering into this world that just existed and was fully formed. I don't think Nebraska City has changed too much since 1991, when Adam was working the pool. So and he also was very generous with his memories and would take us around and say, "Oh, well, that's where that happened," or "That's that person." And so all of that combined to make it feel like just a very natural, organic thing to fit into. I think I showed up, they'd already been shooting, and I was one of the last hires, and it just felt like it just felt very natural coming into it, and meeting everyone, and just making this little unit for the summer.
And Mika, I was curious, how was it kind of being transported back in time to 1991 and getting to wear the fashion from that era? How was doing this kind of time capsule film?
It was really fun. It was really fun. I feel like a lot of the 90s trends are coming back. Like everyone I know has a film camera. The fashion was like stuff that I would totally wear today. So and then like the cars that we're driving were so cool. The Jeep that I drive was actually one of our stand-ins cars that he just let us use, and it was, just stuff like that. It was really cool, and it felt very like um aesthetically pleasing to me.
That's awesome. And Nick, I was curious, what stood out about just working with Gabriel LaBelle? Because he's really been on a hot streak now, and he's showing so many different sides of himself in this film.
Yeah, working with Gabe was great. He's a hard worker. Like we'd be going out and he'd be like, "No, I got to stay in and study for this scene tomorrow." And it was impressive. Like I don't think I had that kind of work ethic or seriousness at his age. So yeah, it was cool to see.
And Mika, you mentioned the camera, so I was curious, do you have much of an interest in like photography, or do you differ from the character in that
No.
aspect?
That is my camera. The camera that I use in the movie
Oh,
is my
wow.
personal camera. Yeah. I read the script, saw it was in Minolta. It's like, oh, I'll use this. I brought it to set just to see if they'd let me use it, and it was the same exact camera as the prop camera that they had brought in. So I was like, no, we're gonna use mine. It's like the roll of film that I was shooting on throughout the whole movie. It's like graduation pictures of family members, and then it's like Connor sneezing next to the camera. Like
That's so incredible. And Nick, I was curious, what kind of just stood out about working with Adam, because he's been such a strong director these past few years, and for him to do such a personal story, it really shows a lot in this film. So, what kind of stood out about working with him?
Yeah, I mean it is a really personal story. And reading the script, that was apparent. When I first read it, it just felt like such a world and such a point of view, such a specific point of view, that it made me really want to work with him. And then I saw Dinner in America, and I thought that was great. And he's just such a generous, caring guy. He really cares a lot, and making sure that everybody feels comfortable and heard on set. So I loved working with Adam. I thought he was great, and I don't know, it just felt like a very personal, close to home thing for him. His family was there, got to meet his kids, and it became this little familial unit.
And Mika, the whole love triangle is very fun to watch unfold, but the relationship of Brooke and AJ, and seeing that blossom is a real highlight. What did you like most about, seeing it develop slowly over time, and it's not just a huge rush or anything like that?
I think it is really sweet, and it is, though Brooke is a little more like bold, and willing to like act on her feelings than maybe AJ is, or than like a lot of people are when they're that age. Um, I think it felt very true to like how things work, and like the awkward, clunky, like, does she like me? Does she not like me? Does he like me? Does he not like me? What's going on? I think that makes it really honest and sweet and true to what it is like to have that first love or first crush, or whatever it may be.